Benny Montgomery is going to be in a play today over at Community Fellowship Church at 3 o'clock. We're going to have an Easter play over there. So he's going to be in it. I didn't ask him what he was going to be. I don't know if he's going to be a thief or what he's going to be, but he's going to be in it. So pray for them that they'll have a good thing going over there at Community Fellowship Church. Any other church announcement? Anything that I need to mention that I may have forgotten? Okay. Let me give you some prayer requests here this morning. Harvey Canner is in Johnson City Med Center, and he's not doing well. So if you'd please remember Harvey. Okay. Also, Tommy Crow's cousin, Jim Birchfield, he's at in the hospital at Franklin Wood. I always want to say Forest for some wood. Franklin Wood Hospital, and he's got fluid around his heart and in his lungs, and he's also got a mass in one of his lungs. So if you please remember him. And then Carisha's grandmother fell and broke her hip, had surgery yesterday, and I asked her, and she's doing well from the surgery. So continue to remember, I think it's Mary Bunton is her name. And then Sylvia Hughes had some tests run, and she's awaiting results. I don't think she's got those back yet, but if you'd please remember Sylvia. And then my mom's sister's daughter, her husband died, and his name was Cecil Nelson. He worked at Lingerfelt. Some of you might know him from Lingerfelt Pharmacy. But Cecil died, and they'll be having his service Monday at Memorial at 6 o'clock, and receive friends 6 to 7, and then they'll have the message and everything at 7 o'clock. Robert Wright Sr., he goes by Bob. He's got some fractures in his back, and he'll be going to Hillview for rehab, okay? And he'll hopefully do that tomorrow. Shirley Holdren, she is still recovering from her cancer surgery. And Robert, remember them. Remember Tony Crow and Chuck Randolph as they'll be scheduling their treatments and things, making decisions about treatments, the upcoming for their prostate cancer. Remember Zella and Rusty Edens, having a lot of slow days. Greg Tester, he had a treatment this past week, so remember him. And then Frida Trivet is up at Alex and them's house and doing well and able to sleep and everything, so remember her. And then a special unspoken prayer request for one of the ladies in church, something special going on in her life, and Tuesday at 9:30. So if you'd pray about that, God's will to be done. Okay. So I like those good unspoken prayer requests, just between God knows and they know, and we'll pray about it. How about that? Okay. Any other prayer requests that you've got on your card, make sure you write those down. David, have you got everybody? David's got a suit on today. Boy, don't you look sharp. Dina dressed him up good today. So let me see if any of these other guys got a suit on. No, they don't, but they've got their suit on. Okay. Appreciate everybody. Okay. See, Johnny, would you bless it for us, please?
Lord, thank you for many blessings. Pray for this offering that goes to Campbell Church as it moves forward. Forgive us of our sins. Give us all things good from Jesus' name.
Amen. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Rose is back today. She's feeling better. That's good. She's been sick. And Rachel and Harper, they're feeling better. They were here Wednesday night, I believe. Brother Barry, front of the class, please. Front of the class, please. Yeah, you're in trouble now. And David, he's got to come to the front of the class too, so both of you are in trouble. I've got a handout. And Rose, it's not another game for you to play, okay? So. He must think this is important. He even put his coat on. Yeah, all right. There's you, son. If you'll give everybody one of those, please. Oh, give me a couple there. I need to keep me one. I almost forgot. No, that's okay. I'll just do it this way. I'll explain what this is in a minute, as soon as they get them passed out. I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of people coming in a little bit early today, so I'm going to try to adjust my lesson accordingly. Okay. This is something that you can keep in your Bible. It goes along with what we're going to be talking about and what we have been talking about. And what we will be talking about. Okay? Sorry about that. Everybody awake now? Sorry, there's no pictures on it. So, that's what Keith Lowe says. He said it don't have any pictures in it. He don't want one.
I got one extra here, Dave.
No. How many we need? Need 2 here, 3, 4, 5. What why is that so many people doing here today? Okay, he's going to run and make us some copies. Okay, run me about 15, I guess, something like that, Brother Barry. For most of you, if you'll look at it, on one side it starts at 400 BC. If you're looking at the other side and it don't have that, you're on the wrong side. Flip it over, okay? And this is a timeline of the 400 years. Okay? Now, there'll be some things on here I'll mention. There'll be some things on here I won't mention. Mostly because I can't pronounce the name. Okay? But I've picked out some of these things that we'll be talking about. But you can keep this folded up and keep it in your Bible. And if you ever want to refer back to it and try to keep all these things in order that we'll be talking about. I thought, when I found this, I thought it would be good. We're going to be kind of over toward the top of the second page, I guess, today. We'll be talking a little bit about that. But he'll be back in here in a minute with those. We'll do just a little bit of a review while we wait on him. How many realms or kingdoms were there? 5. Exactly, 5. Realm 1 was the Babylonians. Realm 2 is the Medo-Persian. Realm 3 was Greece. 4 was Rome. And realm 5, or kingdom, is the second coming to eternity. That is the Lord. So, and we're going to be talking just a little bit about those today. We've talked about the governments and the nations that I just mentioned, those 4, and then Christ. But what I thought I would do today is get started a little bit on some of the people that had to do with those nations. And the Babylonian, when they were in control of the Jews, they had 4 major kings, and I thought it was interesting. The one that we know, the number 2 king that they had was Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, and when I was looking at this, I noticed that the first 3 guys, their names all started. Hold your hand up if you didn't get one. He's back now. Give Barry one there. There we go. Everybody on this side get one? They've all got one over there. Okay, I'll just get them from you afterward, Barry. Steve. But I noticed that their names all start with a N-A-B-O or N-A-B-U. The one that we recognize the most is Nebuchadnezzar. And when I was looking at those names, those 3 guys were named after a god, Nebo, which means watch over my heir, is what the name means. And that Nebo was a god of theirs, and he was the god of wisdom. So that's one thing I noticed when I was looking at these leaders for the Babylonian people. And there's 2 of them that we don't know that much about. One of them's name is Nabopolassar, and the other one's name is Nabonidus. Nabonidus was his name, and so we don't know much about them. But we do know something about Nebuchadnezzar, and so we know what his name means now. And the other one that we'll talk about is Belshazzar. And we'll look a little bit about, he was the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar, okay? So when you look at this Babylonian period, there was 3 different deportations where Jews were taken from Jerusalem to Babylon, okay? 3 different times it happened. And the first one was under Nebuchadnezzar, and he took many members of the royal family at that time, and including Daniel. He took Daniel and his 3 friends. We read about them in the Bible. And he also took much of the temple wealth, which included all of the golden vessels and things that were in the temple, and they were later used by Belshazzar in his feast that we read about in the Bible. But these three deportations, why did they come about? Why did they take them to Babylon? And as I was looking at this, they gave 3 reasons. First of all, if you remember, we said when they took them to Babylon, that was the end of idol worship. But they were worshiping idols at that time, and that was one of the reasons God punished them by sending them to Babylon. Another one was social injustice toward the poor. We'll look at some verses here in a minute. but social injustice toward the poor. And the third one, disregard for sabbatical years. You can turn to the, we'll look at some different books here. If you just want to write them down and then listen to what I read, in the book of, let's see, it's in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 30, says this. For the children of Judah had done evil in my sight, saith the Lord. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name to pollute it. They had polluted it. If you go over to the book of Ezekiel, it's going to be Ezekiel 8. We'll go to Ezekiel 8. And the verses there is 9 through 18. And he says, and I said unto me, go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and I saw, and behold, every form of creeping thing and of abominable beast, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. And in the midst of them stood Jazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imaginary. For they say, the Lord seeth us not, and the Lord hath forsaken the earth. He also said unto me, turn ye yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. And he brought me unto the inner court of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the tabernacle of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O man of God? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. And I went and looked and tried to find out what that phrase at the end of that sentence, branch to the nose, and I really couldn't find a good reason, but they believe it had something to do with something they did when they were worshiping idols, okay? That's the definition that I got. Therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. Idol worship. The second one that we said was social injustice. If you go look at the book of Isaiah 1, verse 23, it says this. And Elkanah, her husband, said unto her, do what seemeth thy good, tarry until thou hast weaned him, only the Lord establish his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. I think I'm in Samuel. Let's go to Isaiah. Okay, I got in the wrong book. Please forgive me. I thought that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. Now, Isaiah 1:23. Thy princes are rebellious, and companions of thieves. Every one loveth gifts, and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. Ignoring the poor. Ignoring the poor. The next one we'll look at is in the book of Jeremiah chapter 5. Make sure I'm in the right one this time. Let's read 26, 27, 28. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait, as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass. The deeds of the wicked, they judge not the cause. The cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy, do they not judge? So another reason they went to Babylon is because of the injustice toward the poor. And the last one we'll look at is 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 21. And he says, to fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths, for as long as she lay desolate, she kept Sabbath to fulfill the 70 years. For when they were in Babylon for 70 years, said they abandoned the Sabbath days. So because they had abandoned these were the reasons that the Babylonians took control of them. So, and sent them to Babylon. And the first deportation, they call it, that they sent, Nebuchadnezzar took, I already talked about that one, that's right. The second one, the second deportation, that was in Jehoiakim. I said it this morning. Turn over to 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 24. Let's see, hold on here. 2 Kings chapter 24. And we'll read about maybe the first 6 or 7 verses. We'll start at 1 here. It said, in the days of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant there 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. And the Lord sent against him bands of the Chaldees, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites, and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by his servants the prophets. Surely at the commandment of the Lord came this upon Judah. The Lord is the one that put it upon them, to remove them out of his sight, for the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did, and also for the innocent blood that he shed, and for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which the Lord would not pardon. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and all that he did, are they not written in the books of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiachin his son reigned in his stead. So he rebelled, and because he rebelled, another group was taken to Babylon. And in this group that went to Babylon this time, Ezekiel was one of the ones in the second deportation that went to Babylon. The third deportation was Zedekiah. Now, Zedekiah, the reason that they went the third time was that he tried to side with Egypt. And he sided with Egypt to try to attempt to gain freedom from the Babylonians. And when they found out, they took him to Babylon. And there at Jerusalem, they destroyed Jerusalem and burned it. And they burned the temple. Which at that time was one of the 7 wonders of the world. So 3 different times, they're not just one time when they went for 70, but there was 3 different times that there were deportations, they called them, and took them to Babylon. We talked about a few weeks ago about some of the things that came out of the 70 years in Babylon. Some of those was the elimination of idols worship. The Jews never worshiped idols again. The next one was the rise of the synagogues. We talked about that. You had the temple, but synagogues were more like, I think of them more like a little local church. So they had the synagogues. That came out of those 70 years. The scribes, the priests couldn't be priests, so they became scribes at that time. And not only that, but the people were spread all over the world. The Jews were being spread all over the world. And we hear it like in the end times that the Jews are going to come home. And we've heard that all of our lives. And a lot of Jews are coming back to Jerusalem at this time. But it happened during those, under the rule of the Babylonians. And then the last one is the Jews defined the canon of the Old Testament during that time. And that was the third thing that happened. I'm just going to get started, I guess, right here, talking about we said Babylon was the first one, and number two is the Medo-Persians, okay? They were under control. And they had five major kings. And some of the kings we won't talk about, but next week we'll talk about Cyrus, C-Y-R-U-S. He was called Cyrus the Great. We'll talk about him and the things that he did. And we'll talk about Darius the Great. We'll talk some about him, of the things that he did. So, and then there's some other ones that we'll mention. But they had about 5 kings under the Medo-Persian. We'll talk a little bit about later on about during those times, all these kings, they were very... they were scared that people was going to take their power away from them. And, you see the same thing today in the world. You've got people, and they get power, and they want to keep it. Iran, they want to keep their power. They don't want to lose it. They've lost it, I believe. They don't know it yet, but they'll realize it one of these days. But all of these kings that you see on here, Herod, he was, we'll talk about Herod a little bit later, but he was... He even went about and killed his family, killed his wife, killed his kids, because he was afraid they were going to try to take his power. So today, when we're going through these nations that were ruling the Jews at that time, and last week we were talking about, we said a generation was 70 years, and we talked about how the kids, when they went to Babylon for 70 years, that those kids that were born there, they didn't know anything about home, and they had to learn the language. And then I got, this week I thought, well, 700, they were there 400 years of silence between the Old and New Testament. That's almost 6. That's almost 6 generations. I wonder if the people were faithful to tell them about the things that had gone on before. And I think today, that's some of the responsibility of us, to tell about what God's done for you, what God's done for the church, our church beforehand. Brother Harvey, Harvey says he's gone, he went to church here 9 months before he was born. That's what he says. And he did. But what are we doing to tell other people about what God has done for us? Are we doing anything? During the week, do we ever tell anybody how good God is for you, what he's done for you, what he's given you, what he's supplied you in your life? I think I don't deserve any of the good stuff that God's done for me, but I thank him for it. Like I said, I heard that song this morning and said, I'm blessed. And every one of us sitting here today are blessed. We've probably got a big meal waiting for us after church today, and we'll probably go have that. And we've got maybe David's got his new tie on, maybe. And we've got nice clothes and nice vehicles sitting out in the a parking lot. Tell people how good God is to you. Don't let there be 400 years of silence in your life. Tell people about how good God is. I'm going to stop right there for today. God, we thank you for the visual that you give us of these nations that took over the Jews